Snow White and Rose Red condensed to 90 lengths, a fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm. Once there was a poor widow living in a lonely cottage. Before it stood 2 rose trees, one bearing white roses and the other red. She had 2 daughters resembling them. One was called Snow White, the other Rose Red. Both were good, cheerful children, though Snow White was gentler and quieter, while Rose Red preferred to roam the meadows, gather flowers, and chase butterflies. Snow White stayed with her mother, helping with the housework or reading aloud when chores were done. The sisters loved each other dearly. They always held hands when they went out. When Snow White said, "We will never part," Rose Red replied, "Not as long as we live," and their mother would add, "What one has, she must share with the other." They often wandered alone into the forest to gather berries, yet no creature harmed them. A hare ate from their hands, a roe grazed nearby, a stag leapt past them, and birds perched above them singing freely. If they stayed too long and night fell, they lay on the moss together and slept peacefully. Their mother never worried. One morning after such a night, they awoke to see a beautiful child in a shining white dress sitting beside them. He looked kindly at them, said nothing, and vanished among the trees. Only then did the girls notice they had slept on the edge of a precipice and might have fallen had they walked a few steps farther in the dark. Their mother told them it must have been the guardian angel of good children. Snow White and Rose Red kept the cottage spotless. In summer, Rose Red tended the house and each morning placed a wreath with a rose from each tree beside her mother's bed. In winter, Snow White lit the fire and hung the copper kettle on the hook. It shone like gold when polished. Evenings, when snow fell, their mother said, "Snow White, bolt the door," and they sat together by the hearth while she read aloud. A lamb lay near them and a white dove perched behind with its head beneath its wing. One evening there came a heavy knock. "Quick, Rose Red, open it, perhaps a traveler seeks shelter," said the mother. Rose Red unbolted the door expecting a poor man, but instead a great black bear thrust in his head. She screamed. The lamb bleated. The dove fluttered. Snow White hid behind the bed. The bear spoke gently, "Do not fear. I mean no harm. I am frozen and only seek warmth." "Poor bear," said the mother, "lie by the fire, but mind your coat." She called the girls out, assuring them he wished them well. Soon even the lamb and dove drew near. The bear asked them to brush the snow from his coat, and they swept him clean. He stretched by the fire, growling contentedly, and before long the girls played freely with him, pulling his fur, rolling him about, even tapping him with a hazel switch. He bore it all good-naturedly, only calling out, "Leave me alive, children snowy white, rosy red, will you be your lover dead?" At bedtime he lay by the hearth for warmth. At dawn the girls led him out, and he trotted back into the forest. After that he came every evening, and the door was never bolted until their black-furred friend had arrived. When spring came, he told Snow White, "I must go away for the summer." She asked, "Where, dear bear?" He answered, "Into the forest to guard my treasures from wicked dwarfs. In winter the frozen earth keeps them underground, but now they dig out and steal. What goes into their caves rarely sees daylight again." Snow White was sorry to see him go. As he hurried out, his coat caught the bolt, tearing off a small piece. She thought she glimpsed gold beneath, though she was unsure. The bear ran off and disappeared among the trees. Soon after, their mother sent them to gather firewood. In the forest, they found a fallen tree, and something jumped about its trunk. Coming closer, they saw a dwarf with a long white beard caught in a crevice. He glared at them and snapped, "Why stand there? Help me!" He explained angrily that while splitting wood, the tree snapped shut and trapped his beard. The girls tried to free it, but it was stuck fast. Rose Red offered to fetch help, but he scolded her. Snow White calmly took her scissors and cut off the end of the beard. Freed, the dwarf snatched up a bag of gold and huffed, "Clumsy creatures, cutting my fine beard, bad luck to you." Then he vanished without thanks. Later, the sisters went to catch fish and again found the dwarf struggling. This time, his beard tangled with his fishing line while a big fish dragged him toward the water. The girls held him and tried to untangle the line, but had to cut his beard once more. Furious, he shrieked, "Is that polite? First the end, now the best part. How can I face my people?" He seized a sack of pearls and stormed off. Soon afterward, the girls were sent to town. Crossing a heath strewn with rocks, they saw an eagle swoop down and seize the dwarf. The girls grabbed him and struggled until the eagle released him. Once recovered, he screeched, "Could you not be more careful? You tore my coat." He grabbed a sack of precious stones and slipped into a crevice. On their way back across the heath, they found him again, sorting his jewels in the evening sun. His face reddened with rage as he shouted at them. Suddenly, they heard growling. A black bear came out of the forest. Terrified, the dwarf begged, "Dear Mr. Bear, spare me. Take my treasures. Take those two girls. They are plump and tender. Only let me live." The bear ignored him and struck him dead with one blow. The girls fled, but the bear called, "Snow White, Rose Red, do not be afraid. Wait for me." Recognizing his voice, they stopped. As he reached them, his bearskin fell away, revealing a handsome man dressed in gold. "I am a king's son," he said. "The dwarf stole my treasures and bewitched me, forcing me to roam as a bear. His death has freed me." Snow White married the prince, and Rose Red married his brother. They shared the treasure gathered in the dwarf's cave. Their mother lived happily with them for many years, taking the two rose trees with her. Each year they bloomed with the loveliest white and red roses.